more where that came from. And yes, those are both leading presidential candidates for the Republican nomination. Here for a fair and balanced debate, Fox News contributor Pete Snyder and Emily Tish Sussman, the campaign director for the Center for American Progress Action Fund. Pete, first to you. Rubio continues pounding away at Trump, con man, con artist, and everything else. Air Force One. Too little, too late by Marco, or does he have Trump rattled?
I was half expecting John Cena to pop out of the back screen, classic WWE style. I think this has gotten a little out of hand, Leland, and yeah, I think it is a little too late. We had months and months to see who could be the alpha and who could stand up to Trump, and no one did. And I understand the strategy of Marco trying to make it a two-person race, but this thing's all but over on the Republican side.
Things change at all?
Look, I think that's probably right, but I think he has to try. I think to have Trump as the decided front runner and to go in with the nomination, I think must be very scary for a lot of people, particularly a lot of Republicans. For as many people that support him, there are twice as many that say they would never vote for him, and those are just Republicans. It is very difficult to see how he does well in a general election. And so I think you have to try. You can't just concede it altogether. And they really haven't gone after him so far.
We saw this morning the reporting from Carl Cameron about this David Duke dust-up, where on Friday he disavowed David Duke, the KKK leader's endorsement. Then today on one of the Sunday shows, he says, oh, I don't know anything about it. I'd have to look into these groups and get back to you. Does that matter with Republican voters, those kinds of things? Or is people who are already supporting Trump, they really don't care whether he disavows something that David Duke says or not?
Well, I think Trump has tried to be the anti-political correct guy. So if the natural thing is to disavow someone, he tries to do the opposite. But Leland, we all know, KKK, David Duke, easy answer, disavow. It's disgusting. They're horrible groups, not right for leadership. So this one's a head scratcher. But Donald Trump is trying to trace.
Democrats have to love this if great opposition research on Trump if he's the nominee.
Well, I mean, it's almost like there's no book for this. Like, where to go? Like, how could you possibly script a leading candidate that wouldn't automatically disavow the KKK? Like, there's almost no playbook for this. He's writing it himself. Like, how do you even do Oppo?
Well, or you just have to pull his old sound bites. You made the point about Marco trying to make it a two-man race, pushing out Cruz. And for the past 48 hours or so, we haven't heard much about Ted Cruz. He wanted to change that. Take a listen to him on Fox News Sunday today.
Chris, every accusation you raised there is incorrect. I appreciate your reading the Donald Trump attack file on that.
Come on, sir.
Let me tell you, our campaign has been from the highest...
Wait a minute, sir.
Chris,
You personally apologized to Ben Carson on a debate stage. You fired your communications director.
Chris,
don't say this is an
me.
Oppo file on our part, sir.
Chris, please don't interrupt me. Our campaign from the beginning.
Please don't say that. Accuse me of something I didn't do.
Go ahead, Chris. Let me know when I'm allowed to answer.
Well, don't accuse me of doing something I didn't do. Two of those things, you apologized for one, and you fired your communications director. Don't say this is the Oppo file.
Chris, our campaign from the beginning has been the highest level of integrity. When others have engaged in personal attacks and insults, we don't respond in kind.
Is Cruz still relevant?
Absolutely. He's number 2 in the race. He's the only guy who's won a race, a contest besides Trump. And come Wednesday morning, I think he's going to have a pretty large lead on Marco Rubio. He's absolutely relevant.
All right, so he's still pounding away. Emily, last word to you.
I think it is very difficult for Cruz to see a path forward, and he thinks hitting the media is the place to go for him. It was in about the third debate when he hit the media and got huge applause lines for it, and he has not let up since. He thinks that's the pathway forward, but electorally very difficult to see.
Well, it was a good flash in the pan hitting the media for Newt Gingrich back in 2012. It was not a sustainable strategy overall. But we saw Rubio hit the media as well over Trump, saying they're scared of Trump, those kinds of things. We'll see if anybody's scared of the media for that matter going forward.
Well, it's a great way to go. It insulates you from any sort of right? It's just the media.
When in doubt, blame them.